I still remember the night like it was yesterday. The quiet that fell over the house, the stillness that foretold something was terribly wrong. My dear neighbor, a spirited 72-year-old man known for his gentle smile and lively stories, died in his sleep. His passing left a void in our community and taught me a lesson I wish I had learned sooner. Even the simplest bedtime habits can turn fatal when you enter your golden years. Growing older comes with wisdom and many cherished memories, but it also brings unexpected vulnerabilities that can silently sabotage your health. In the case of my neighbor, it wasn't a single dramatic incident, but a series of everyday routines that, over time, took their toll. His story is a harsh reminder that after the age of 70, what once seemed like harmless traditions may become dangerous. I noticed subtle changes. A heavy dinner that no longer provided comfort, but instead overworked his aging heart. A nightly drink that slowly dimmed the spark of alertness. Missed doses of essential medications that disrupted his precarious balance, and his habit of dozing off in a recliner instead of a supportive bed. This video is my way of sharing that painful lesson with you. I want to show you how these 4 bedtime routine habits, heavy meals at night, alcohol before bed, skipping night medications and falling asleep in chairs, can drastically affect your health. By understanding these risks and making a few adjustments, you can help ensure that your night's rest is not a silent threat, but a time for your body to heal and rejuvenate. If you care about living your best years with safety and vibrancy, please stay tuned and remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful stories and health tips. 1. Heavy meals at night. I can still picture him in his favorite armchair, savoring every bite of a large, hearty dinner that he had always believed nourished his soul. Yet, as the years crept by, that comforting ritual took on a sinister edge. In his early 70s, his appetite for a rich, heavy meal in the evening was seen as a reward after a long day, a feast of warmth and familiarity. But as his body grew more fragile, those same meals began to strain his weakening heart and overburden his aging digestive system. It all started with small warnings that no one really understood at first. I noticed that after his substantial dinners, his demeanor would change. He'd sit silently at the table, his eyes lingering on the remnants of food long after others had finished. His face, once flushed with contentment, began to carry a tinge of discomfort. I remember one particular evening when the aroma of his favorite stew filled the room. It was a meal he had prepared countless times, yet that night he seemed unusually exhausted afterward, almost as if the meal had drained him rather than sustained him. As time passed, it became clear that these heavy meals disrupted his natural sleep cycle. The burden of digesting such a calorie-rich feast forced his body to work relentlessly throughout the night. His heart, already compromised by years of high blood pressure, had to pump harder to circulate blood for digestion. This additional strain not only made him restless, but also increased the likelihood of cardiac complications. I recall how his expression would shift suddenly from relaxed to troubled in the quiet hours, as if every bite was a reminder of the growing load his heart could barely bear. The irony was painful. What had once been a symbol of comfort slowly morphed into a silent adversary. His nightly routine, a ritual meant to celebrate life's simple pleasures, turned against him, inadvertently setting the stage for his untimely departure. Friends and family began to worry and urged him to opt for lighter meals. Yet, tradition and a sense of nostalgia held him captive. Those heavy dinners were inseparable from the memories of his younger days when eating well was synonymous with strength and vitality. In his final months, the warning signs grew too loud to ignore. His once radiant spark dimmed, his laughter faded, replaced by prolonged quiet and discomfort. The heavy dinners that had been his solace ultimately contributed to the exhaustion of his fragile body, culminating in the night he died in his sleep. His story serves as a heart-wrenching reminder. For anyone over 70, it's not just about enjoying a meal, it's about choosing the right kind of nourishment that supports a safe, restorative sleep. Let his experience be a lesson. If you're in your later years, consider lighter, easily digestible meals that give your body the chance to rest and rejuvenate rather than overtax it. Remember, a gentle evening meal can be a celebration of life without the hidden risks that come with a heavy dinner. His story still lingers with me, etched in memory like the creak of that old armchair or the clink of his glass in the quiet of the evening. A 72-year-old man, full of stories and silent strength, gone in his sleep. But as peaceful as it may sound, the truth behind his passing was anything but simple. It was a slow unraveling, caused not by one dramatic event, but by seemingly innocent bedtime habits that compounded over time. Habits that many seniors still follow today, unaware of the danger they pose. The heavy meals, the nightly drinks, the skipped medications, and those quiet naps in the wrong place. Each played their role, and together they created the perfect storm. He didn't plan for things to go this way. In fact, he believed these routines brought him comfort. But sometimes, the habits we cling to most tightly are the ones we need to let go of the fastest, especially when we reach the later chapters of our lives. If you're over 70, or if you care for someone who is, please, let this story be a gentle warning. Rethink your nighttime routine. Be mindful of what you eat, what you drink, the medications you rely on, and where you choose to lay your head. These small decisions can quietly become the difference between long life and loss. Thank you for staying with me through this heartfelt journey. If this touched you, or made you think differently about aging and bedtime health, please like this video, share it with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be sharing more real stories, lessons, and tips to help us all age with wisdom, dignity, and care. Because every life matters, and every night counts. To that inevitable breaking point, family members tried everything to help him remember. Pill organizers, nightly alarms, even gentle reminders from loved ones during dinner. Yet, in those final months, the chaos of his routine seemed to overpower the best-laid plans. His struggle was emblematic of a broader truth. As we age, our routines must adapt, and even a single overlooked habit can unravel years of stability. It was heartbreaking to see someone so full of life surrender to the pitfalls of neglecting his health. His once steady hand, now shaky, would gesture towards the pill bottle with a fleeting glimmer of recognition before the exhaustion set back in. I couldn't help but wonder, if only he had taken his medications each night, if only the protective shield had remained intact, perhaps the outcome could have been different. Let his story serve as a reminder. In your later years, every detail matters. Skipping night medications isn't just forgetting a pill. It's letting the safeguards of your health diminish, inching you closer to unpredictable and sometimes fatal consequences. Taking that small step every night can be the difference between a restful sleep and a tragic loss. 4. Falling asleep in chairs. I'll never forget the countless evenings I visited him, only to find him slouched in his favorite armchair, a habit that, over time, quietly became a dangerous comfort. While it might seem insignificant compared to heavy meals or missed medications, falling asleep in chairs is a risky bedtime routine that many seniors adopt without realizing its potential harm. In his case, It became the final piece of a puzzle that his aging body could no longer endure. For years, his armchair had been his trusted spot, a relic from a more active past, where it served as a gathering place for stories and quiet moments of reflection. Over time, however, as fatigue deepened and his physical strength waned, the chair evolved from a simple seat into a precarious substitute for his bed. Unlike a proper bed designed to support the body evenly, a chair confines you to a semi-upright position. This not only affects your posture, but also disrupts the natural flow of blood circulation and respiration during sleep. I vividly recall an evening when I found him nodding off in that very chair, his head slowly tipping forward as his body struggled to maintain a safe position. In that moment, it was clear that the cozy familiarity of the chair was no longer enough to protect him. Rather, it was contributing to subtle, yet significant, health issues. Without the supportive structure of a proper bed, his spine was forced into unnatural angles that increased pressure on his heart and lungs. His already fragile circulation became further compromised, making every shallow breath and slight shift a laborious effort. Medical experts have long warned that sleeping in an improper position, such as in a recliner or chair, can lead to a cascade of complications. When you sleep in a chair, your legs are often at an awkward angle, which can lead to poor blood flow, leg cramps, or even deep vein thrombosis. For seniors, whose circulatory systems might be battling other age-related issues, this can be a tipping point, a silent, creeping danger that steals away the restorative power of sleep. In his case, the habit of dozing off in that chair began innocuously enough. Just a few minutes of rest here and there during the day. But eventually, it crept into his night, replacing the full, deep sleep he desperately needed. The chair didn't offer the gentle embrace of a well-fitted mattress. Instead, it left him vulnerable. Over time, the constant strain on his muscles and joints, combined with diminished blood flow and poorer respiratory efficiency, weakened his body's ability to recover and rejuvenate overnight. I watched, heartbroken, as his health declined gradually. Each night spent in that mismatched chair meant one less opportunity for his body to receive proper rest. His breathing became more labored, his movements slower, and his days increasingly marked by fatigue and discomfort. A cascade of effects that ultimately contributed to his final, peaceful sleep. Let his story serve as a reminder. For anyone over 70, a proper bed isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Embrace a sleeping environment that supports your body fully, so that every night's rest contributes positively to your well-being. Small changes, like switching to a bed with a supportive mattress, can make all the difference between a safe slumber and risking unforeseen, silent dangers. His story still lingers with me, etched in memory like the creak of that old armchair or the clink of his glass in the quiet of the evening. A 72-year-old man, full of stories and silent strength, gone in his sleep. But as peaceful as it may sound, the truth behind his passing was anything but simple. It was a slow unraveling, caused not by one dramatic event, but by seemingly innocent bedtime habits that compounded over time. Habits that many seniors still follow today, unaware of the danger they pose. The heavy meals, the nightly drinks, the skipped medications, and those quiet naps in the wrong place. Each played their role, and together they created the perfect storm. He didn't plan for things to go this way. In fact, he believed these routines brought him comfort. But sometimes, the habits we cling to most tightly are the ones we need to let go of the fastest, especially when we reach the later chapters of our lives. If you're over 70, or if you care for someone who is, please, let this story be a gentle warning. Rethink your nighttime routine. Be mindful of what you eat, what you drink, the medications you rely on, and where you choose to lay your head. These small decisions can quietly become the difference between long life and loss. Thank you for staying with me through this heartfelt journey. If this touched you or made you think differently about aging and bedtime health, please like this video, share it with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be sharing more real stories, lessons, and tips to help us all age with wisdom, dignity, and care. Because every life matters, and every night counts.